Welcome everyone to this new driftctl live release demo. It's been several months since the last one, and we apologize, but we got pretty excited features to show. First, I'd like to say that we are now part of the Snyk family, and we are even more dedicated to continue working on this open source product within this huge company. Let me introduce myself. My name is William. I'm a software engineer at Snyk and a core contributor to driftctl. I will be your host during this demo. Please welcome also Carney and Ellie, who will assist me on showing new features released on driftctl. Let's start by a quick overview of what we're going to present you today. For AWS first, I'm happy to say that we fully support all resources of API Gateway v1, and we started to implement the resource of the API Gateway v2. Carney will walk you through that in a short demo after that. Second, we added a bunch of new resources in GCP, but we didn't get the chance to show you how to use that. Ellie will fix that and show you how to use driftctl with GCP. Then I'm glad to say that since the version 0.0.16, we support Azure resources, and I'm going to be the one in charge of presenting you that. Finally, last but not least, I wanted to say a huge thank you to our new contributors to driftctl. That makes our product even more awesome. I will introduce them, and I will try to show their work. Let's begin right now with Carney, who's going to talk about AWS API Gateway.
Hey, okay, so I'll share my screen. I'll start by first a quick scan of driftctl to make sure that I have no unmanaged resources. So scanning. Next, I'll show you my Terraform file that has a couple of resources. Great. 0 resources currently, both managed and unmanaged. This is API Gateway of REST API, a WebSocket API v2, and over here I have a REST API v1. Let's apply the Terraform file and apply the Terraform file, create the resources. So here are the resources, wanting to create them. Yes. Creating. Next, great, 6 resources added. Let's see, they're over here on the console. We have these 2 resources, the WebSocket and the REST API one. Scan again to see they're all managed. Next, we'll create manually a resource on the AWS console. We'll expect, here we have 7 managed resources by Terraform. We have another 2 unmanaged resources that are created by default by AWS, so they're not managed on our Terraform file. I will now create manually an HTTP API. Let's call it Twitch API. I'll create it. Great, created. This is our ID, 7K6, starting with. Now I'll scan again to see this manually created unmanaged resource. And here we are. Here's the manually created resource, driftctl, scanned it, and now we know that we have one more resource that is not managed by Terraform. That's it.
Thanks, Connie, for this amazing demo and your contribution to API Gateway V2. Welcome as a new maintainer of driftctl. Let's continue with Ellie, who will guide you into using driftctl with GCP.
Hey everyone. Let me show you some basic stuff about GCP. We're gonna create 3 buckets and let's have a look at how we can run driftctl on it. For this demo, I configured driftctl to ignore everything but the bucket. You can achieve that by a simple drift ignore like this, by putting a wildcard on the first line and then ignoring only some bunch of resources. It will probably save you a lot of API calls and bandwidth. So let's apply this Terraform code. Yes. It's fine. Let's have a look at the console. Here we have now 3 buckets. Let's scan them with driftctl. You have to specify the project that you are using on GCP with this environment variable, like that. So we have 3 resources, everything is in sync, that's cool. Let's manually add a new bucket, driftctl demo live, sorry, this one. So we now have a rogue bucket here. Let's scan again. So driftctl is reporting that a new resource was not found in the infrastructure as code. We can also delete one managed resources like that. Okay, let's scan again. And driftctl is now showing you that this resources is missing from this state file. And we also added the Terraform address to be able to identify this resource in your code base. So this is basically what we added on GCP. We added a lot of other resources. You can find every resources in the documentation. If you go to provider here and then Google and then click on supported resource, you can find every resource that's driftctl supports. You can also find in the authentication section the credential and environment variables that you need to set up to be able to run driftctl. driftctl is using the Cloud Assets API to enumerate your resources. So you need the proper roles to be set up in your GCP account. And basically, that's all.
Thanks, Ellie. As always, you killed it. Okay. I'm going to be the last one who's going to show you driftctl, but this time with Azure. First, let's see the resources that we're going to create. I'm not going to show you how to create all the resources that we support in Azure. It would be too much time, but I'm only going to apply 3 kinds of resources, 2 private DNS, two private DNS A records and 1 private DNS zone. I will show you that my Azure environment is clean. So to scan for Azure resources, you need to put the 2 flag with Azure plus TF arguments. Let's see that driftctl won't report any resources in my environment. Okay, so as you can see that there's no resources in my environment. Let's try to run simple Terraform apply. I hope it's not going to last too much. Okay, try and tell yes. So basically, after the 3 resources creation, we're gonna rerun, and you know the drill. We're gonna rerun the driftctl scan for for Azure, and we should see that there is 3 now resources that driftctl will found. Let's wait for resources to create. You can see that I have a really clean Christmas jumper. Okay, so now if you try to rerun the scan command with Azure, we should see that driftctl found 3 resources. Let's hope so, but I'm confident. Okay, as you can see, there's 3 resources, 100% coverage, and everything is in sync. I won't show you a manual resources drift, as I'm pretty sure by now you understand that driftctl will alert you on unmanaged resources created manually on the console. I'm gonna just jump on something else. Like Ellie said, I just want to remind you that you can find all supported resources and providers in our documentation website. I'm gonna show you that once more. Up. So basically you have for the supported resources for Azure and the authentication process, you can see that this is the same format that Ellie showed you earlier. We have also for the Google here and the AWS here. So don't hesitate to go first into our documentation website to see that the resource that you want to test. And okay. Let's move on to our new contributors work. So we're gonna look at some of our contributors. Okay. The first one, I'd like to thank C. Bowman. Thanks to him, we now support Terraform Enterprise in addition to Terraform Cloud as a backend solution to your state file. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you something with Terraform Enterprise. I don't have any Terraform Enterprise environment set up, but a huge thank you to C. Bowman for this amazing contribution. We can go into the PR of smaftool. Sorry for if I'm pronouncing it differently. He helped us on an UI issue where in non-deep mode, we were displaying a message to say that within a resource, we have 0 attributes driftctl. Let me show you what it means. Basically, if you see my terminal on the right, I've got 2 different scan. One which is a non-deep mode, and one and one with the deep mode available with the --deep. You can see that for the --deep, we had a line here which say that there is no attributes that drifted with my state file. Basically, before this PR from this contributor, we also added this line to the non-deep mode scan command, which is annoying and nonsense since we didn't fetch any details during a scan command with non-deep mode enabled. So thanks to him, he kind of made our output clearer. So thank you, smaftool. And finally, I want to show you one of our maintainer now, which is Craig, who improved the generation of the driftctl file. Let me show you something really cool. So basically, on the 2 scan command, you can see that there is 1 resources that is unmanaged, the API gateway account. If you want to just hide these resources into the next scan command, you can put these resources in a driftctl file, or you can generate one. One way to do that is, and that's the beauty of the PR from Craig, you can do a simple driftctl scan command, but you will need to add the output --output in JSON format into the std out. If you pipe that into the new command, which is driftctl gen driftinor. Okay. basically, we are gonna either the driftctl will create a new driftctl file, or it will append to an existing one the resources that driftctl scan first see in the first command. So if I try to run this time the scan command without the output and the drift and the generate driftctl command, we should see that driftctl found not 17 but 16 resources because we hide the new resources inside the driftctl file. Okay. Let me just go back to full screen. Okay. Thanks everyone. I think we almost tried to be succinct about the thing that we wanted to show you. Gonna put everyone in. Gonna put everyone here. So and thank you also for attending this demo. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. I'm just looking at questions. Want to become famous? People love your sweatshirt. Yeah, I know. Me too. Okay, so if there are no more questions, please don't forget to follow us on Twitter. It's at driftctl. Once again, thanks for listening, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.